Hello there. I think there's going to be a series of videos now on some more dies from Gummy Pan. I had a delivery. I've got all this lovely... Oh, can't believe how happy I am. All of these lovely dies to go at. But today I'm going to start with these. I had a gift of a pot of snowdrops from the lady who lives next door to my daughter. I was talking to her shortly after they moved in, and I was saying what a pity it was that I hadn't taken some of my daughter's snowdrops before she had her garden and the house redeveloped. And this lady must have remembered what I said, and when I went to Bath, I got this pot of snowdrops to bring home. So I'm going to make a thank you card, including snowdrops. And in this bunch of dies, there just happens to be some tiny little dies with spring flowers. Amongst them is snowdrops. These are crocuses. Not quite sure what that one is. I haven't cut it out, so it's all more difficult to see. Might be a dandelion. I'm not sure. Anyway, snowdrops and a basket. So what I thought I would do is to make a basket and put a whole crowd of snowdrops inside it. So just put these on one side for a minute. I have cut some out here and started to colour them. They're so tiny, so delicate. I absolutely love them. I just used this Copic marker to add a little bit of green to the die cuts. So I'll just show you what I did, because I've got one or two done already, but I have a few more tricks up my sleeve for them. So here's my marker. All I'm going to do, it's not, you don't have to be incredibly delicate, but I think where the foliage meets the flower, meets the petals, just be a little sort of feather it in so it doesn't look like a great, dead end kind of thing. So just a bit of colour onto each of the snowdrops like this. Now what I thought I would do is to have some in the basket and some kind of still growing to give a bit of grounding to the basket itself. So I'll just colour a few more. I don't quite know how I'm going to do, how it's going to work out, but I've got this kind of idea in my head. And people who've seen my videos many times before know that I don't always keep to the plan. I sometimes go off on a bit of a side road. So, right, here's some nice coloured leaves. This is Copic YG63. YG63. I love the fact that these dies, lots of these dies, actually cut a line within it so that you can insert a flower or whatever into a package or into a bucket or into a basket. Here's one that I've already cut out of these. So, but before I put it onto the card, my idea is, I'll just tell you what my idea is. It is to have this in the corner with some things in front and in, and this is also from Gummy Pan, and I'd like to use it because it's the same make. A thank you. Now, the thank you, where's the other one? I cut it out. By itself, with the white basket, is fine. But I thought I would try making my basket coloured. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'll put my snowdrops on one side for a moment. Aren't they pretty? Don't you think they just look? They bring me so much pleasure just looking at a die cut, never mind looking at the actual flower. Imagine what I'm like looking at the flowers. So, first of all, with this one, I want to try and make the very best of it we can. And the first thing I'm going to do is to try and add a bit of dimension to it. And the dimension may help me with the colouring. So I'm going to do the the embossing first. Now, you know that when baskets are made, they go in and out, under and over and under and over. And so there are ridges and there are bits that stick out. Hills and valleys, if you know what I mean. So what I'm doing is depressing where the valleys would be on the front. Then I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to get a slightly bigger ball, I think. Let's have this one. And I'm going, I won't use this one. I'm going to go down on the lines where they'll be sticking out the other side. There we go. Can you see? It's given dimension to it already. Can you see that? Right, and also I'm going to do a little bit around this front edge. I'm not going to bother with the back edge because the back edge won't be seen because the flowers will be in there. But the front edge should be visible. So I'm going to do a little bit of where they would be sticking out on the other side, where they would be slightly convex. I'm just giving a little push. This mat is it is actually an embossing mat, and it's quite firm foam. It came with an embossing tool, which I can't find at the minute. In fact, it came with two, one of which I've lost. One of them had a thing that you could hold for quilling, you know. But anyway, that's beside the point. But can you see? We have got a bit of movement in there now. So now I'm going to try doing a similar thing to add a bit of dimension, but using colour, not impressions. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've got two shades of Copics here. I've got an E37 and an E31. The 37 I am going to use first. It's the darker one. And I'm just going to go in where the valleys would be, just with a slightly wiggly line, not so that it's not just dead straight, just give it a bit of a tremble down through these depressions. Okay. Next I'm going to do a similar sort of thing with the depressions in the rim of the basket. And now I'm going to go over the whole lot with the other one, the lighter one. And so hopefully by the time we've finished, we should look as if we've got a little bit of relief, a little bit of perspective, a bit more dimension. Just want to try and blend this in a little bit more. The darker one is just a bit too predominant for my taste. Right, now I'm going to do the handle. And I'm going to use the darker one just to do one side to add a bit of shadow, as if the light is coming from the right. I always do that because I suppose because my my craft light is on the right hand side. So just to give it a little bit of shadow. I think a lot of the times we don't tend to think about doing too much with die cuts, and just to give them a little bit of detail makes all the difference. You see, I'm not going to bother with the back because as I said before, the back's not going to be seen. There we go. Looks a lot more alive, doesn't it? Looks as if you can see some of the weaving going on. Oops, no, wet one. Let's get one fresh one. No, white potato. It won't mark on anything else, mind you, because it's an alcohol pen, so it's kind of dry. Okay. Now what I want to try and do is to arrange these snowdrops in the basket. Right, what I'm going to do is put a bit of, what should I put on? just a bit of sticky, I think. Just a bit of sticky. Right, did it go on? Yep. Okay. Now, if I want to get one of these bits of, let me come in a little bit so you can see a bit more clearly. Which way do I go? I have to make sure I hold it in the place where you can see. If I want to get one of these, to go as far over to the right as possible, I'm going to have to cut off this little petal here so I can get it right across. So I'm going to do that. And we'll put this one in. And these dies, as I was mentioning before, they're cut like this. Can you see? So you can pop the flower in there, which looks like it's whatever you put in, that it's in the basket and not just kind of on it. There's the one with the petal cut off, so I can get it really close. There we go. And stick. There's my first one. Now, likewise, if I want to put some on the other side, I need to cut a petal off on the right-hand side. So let me just cut that much off there. And we'll stick that on the right-hand side. Because I put that sticky on the back, they're just getting grabbed where I put them. Okay, now we've got how much more space in here? Maybe... if I put that one, oh, I've forgotten to do something now. It's all right, I can still do it with these. The other thing, whoopsie-daisy, I was going to do was to just give a little bit of dimension to the actual blooms themselves. So I'm going to do just this. I'm just going to use my embossing tool and gently add a little bit of dimension to each of these flowers, just a little bit, so that when you look at them, they've got that sort of rounded look on the right side. So if I do that with all of them, it's such a quick thing to do, but it makes absolutely such a difference. I did do a video actually some time ago about adding dimensions to die cuts in this way, and the difference is it's very subtle, but it does make a huge difference. Okay, let's stick one of these into the basket, find a gap for it. There we go. And stick. And I have cut the blossom from one of the die cuts so that I can have a little bit of grass when I put it on my card, a little bit of grass in front like this. Just hold it with and another bunch of snowdrops growing, just to give it a little bit of grounding there. But the bit that I cut off I can put in the basket as well, but I'm going to have to put a little bit of glue on this one, because I don't think it's going to go far enough down to reach the row of adhesive that I put on there. So I'll put a little bit of, few dabs of glue on the back of this and pop it into the basket. Might have to make a space for it. There we go. And I've got another one there. How can I fit that in? Perhaps just kind of in. Let me trim it down a little bit. Again, it's the blossom that's going to make the difference, I think, here. Oopsie daisy. It just needs to look kind of crammed with flowers. That's the effect we're after, just bursting with flowers. There we go. Now, to give it dimension, once I put it on the card, I'm going to put a little bit of foam tape on the back and then a glue around so that the foam tape will lift it and the glue around it will just hang it onto the, oh, that's a bit too long, onto the card. So this is it, kind of. My basket, some growing flowers, and I'm just going to stack the sentiment. The fact that it's white means that it's a bit in the background, but a couple of layers of stacking will just give it that bit of emphasis. So that, stack these, stick them on, and there we have my thank you card for my wonderful gift of snowdrops. So I will carry on and finish this, and I'll put the finished cards on Instagram, Gritty Job, and also on my Facebook page, CAS with Friends. Thank you so much for watching.